Did you know that you shouldn't be selling with only one style all the time? What if your approach could actually be turning away paying customers? The fact is, the approach to a sale should be dependent upon the customer's need and the situation. Get this wrong, and you could lose the opportunity to get much needed revenue for your business. To make matters worse, the customers could miss out on what would be an ideal experience for them. Hello, my name is Leovona. I have been creating and building businesses for over 25 years. I am a mentor and sales coach for small and new business owners, and I'm here to help you win. If that sounds like something that you would like more of and you want to be able to find me later, subscribe to this channel. So, what are you talking about here, Leovona? What do you mean I could lose customers? And what do you mean about selling only one way? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Before I go into more details, let's step back for a second to consider what a sales call actually is. Because let's face it, it can be so easy to lose track. We need to make the sale or we lose money. The person in front of us hopefully will make a decision that will benefit our lives. And this is the way most people approach selling. It is what it is, and I understand. But this is still the wrong way to approach a sale. Think about it. When you are trying to decide whether you want to buy something, shouldn't it be your right to decide whether it's in your best interest? So, what that means is you are the one parting with your money. It's not about whether or not the salesperson gets your money. It's about whether you want to part with yours. Listen, when we as business owners get the order of this correct, customers trust us easier. You see, people can feel whether or not you're desperate. They can tell when you're just trying to get their money, their moolah. They're not stupid. They can perceive when you don't really care if it is in their best interests. So, in short, be selfish and lose customers. Put them first, and you get what you want, and so do they. So, it is imperative that we look for a win win deal every time and have an attitude of service. We need to see how we can best help the person who is considering buying our product or service. Now, if this is the case, then that means our sales meeting is not going to be a one size fits all approach. Every client is going to have slightly different concerns, and it is our job as the business owner to try to provide options for them. So we know that we put others before ourselves when we sell. But the next part is something you definitely don't want to overlook. Not only do prospects have slightly different concerns and personality quirks, they also will be in different stages of their journey or development. What I mean is this: the people you serve may all have the same range of problems, but they may be in different places. One person may just be coming into this space. The next person may be in the middle of the journey. And finally, the last person may be all the way towards the end. all the way to the end of the range of solutions that you provide. Listen, it is imperative that you feel out the needs of the customer and where they are right now. We shouldn't necessarily use the same exact level of forwardness or passivity for each customer. We don't move the same pace for all people. Some will come in and be ready to buy right now. They have done their homework. They don't need a lot of help making a decision. Don't get in their way. You're not adding anything to them by slowing them down. They have already made a well-rehearsed judgment call. Now, another person may come into your establishment who knows very little about what you do. They know they have a problem that's causing them pain, but they may not know very much about how to go about solving that problem. So this is a person you need to move slower with, right? You get it? You got to move slower with that particular one. Are you seeing where I'm going with this? It's all about service. It's about people. It's not about you. It's kind of crazy to me how often sales agents and businesses get this wrong. And truly, when we are on the customer side of the equation, we definitely know when that business is getting it wrong. So let's not be like that. The fact is, you can't fail when you simply apply the golden rule. Do unto others the same as you would have them do to you. As business owners who are ever aspiring to achieve higher standards, let us never cease to pursue this goal. If this message has been helpful to you, I'd really appreciate the familiar thumbs up. It will spread this message and get it out to more people. Now, at this time, we will move into the freestyle portion of the video that I do each day. It's called, as you know, the why factor. I believe it's important for us to remind ourselves why we do business. Let's be honest here. Things can get really hard at times for us as entrepreneurs. There are times when we can downright question everything and really doubt ourselves and our mission. That's why we need to recall why we went into business in the first place. Listen, life is precious, so we have to cherish it. So let's take some time now to reflect on these things. You know, today's Friday, and all across the board, most of us are getting off for our little 2-day weekend. Just now I chuckled, I chuckled to myself because I realized something that made me smile. I just can't imagine you guys coming to the end and actually saying that part about the why factor verbatim. Some of you saying it with pride, and some of you saying it with, yeah, life is precious, let's cherish it. It's like you know it like the back of your hand and you're just waiting to repeat with me what I'm saying. It just made me chuckle. Sometimes I see little things that happen before they actually come about. So, like I said, today's Friday, right? And when I came back from medical school, and even before I went, and I was in corporate, thank you. And I was in corporate. My husband just brought me a bottle of water. Yeah, so when I was in corporate and I had to leave, I was working in this hospital, and come Friday, you saw everybody. Two things. They used to always drag. I even have a video or two out there in my past life, um, my old style, where I mentioned it, and I talked about how people would come back on Monday morning and they're like, you know, they're dragging and slow, talking about how they wish they didn't have to be here. And then I'm sitting and I'm watching, first time working in a hospital, and I'm watching their behavior, and I notice they're dragging, they're taking their time, uh, you know, not really caring about whatever is happening, stealing time from whomever they're working for, standing by, the printer, having good conversations, going to warm up food and when it's not lunchtime. And I said, these people are funny. They're really funny. And then I noticed something changed. And I told my husband, I said, husband, you would not believe what I have noticed. I love people, like I said. And so I'm always studying them. And I noticed come Friday, when they have to get the paycheck, everybody happy, everybody mysterious, and there's an energy in the air in the hospitals. Most times, like alternatively, we used to get paid every 2 weeks. Some people got paid every week. And I tell you, what a different atmosphere. Smile on miserable faces, you know? And as I thought of my freestyling with you today. I just remembered them. Our past never leaves us. You know what I mean? The past never leaves us. We always could sit on our couch. We might be watching TV or something, and our family hear us chuckling. They're saying, "Huh? Why is mommy chuckling? Why is my wife chuckling? Is she all right? Is he all right?" But you just remember something funny. You see a funny face. You see something that they did. Sometimes a whole scene plays out in front of you. Lazy as all Gilda Boots on Monday morning, but come Friday, look at the energy. And forget it when the hospitals have this thing where vendors would bring food in, and boy, they bring expensive foods. And you have like a doctor who might be in charge of that, and she orders the very best because they're paying for it. Pharmaceutical companies would try to sweet soap, as we would say in my country, the doctors to buy their products, and so they spare no expense, and they bring us in Jamaican food and Italian foods and Indian foods. And so, the variety of people working there, everybody gets to taste their dishes at some point in time before the month is ended. And most times they do that on Friday. So the activity is high and everybody's having a good time. And so, suddenly, ain't no problem to work hard today because you're getting your paycheck. I said, my gosh, I told my husband, I said, these people are funny. There are some funny ones in here, you know? And I just thought of that, and I thought and I wondered what your week was. Some of us had a come see come sa kind of situation. Nothing different, just the same old, got in the car every day, got at the bus stop, got to work, nothing going on, you know. Hopefully, you weren't one of those ones that walked in on Monday morning with your face all long, long and miserable. Because why do I have to be here again? I wish I could stay home and sleep. And then when you're home, you don't sleep. You're always finding something to do with your miserable self. Haunted, must work, don't know what it means to lie down in the bed and rest your old soul. Yeah. But life is so precious and there's so many things we can talk about, and so whichever part of the coin you were on today as you stepped into the office, all I could say to you, I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you. I want you to have fun in everything you do. And like I said in the video, do unto others as you would, have them do unto you. And in our business, it is easier for us to get to that place because it's ours. But when you're working for corporate, sometimes they give you 3 and 4 jobs. After COVID, they really took advantage of us, and we had to do so many different people's jobs for the one pay. But thank God, if you're a business owner transitioning out, you'll be out soon. So hang in there. It doesn't always happen right away, but you have your eye on the goal and you know that you have to get out of here, but you don't want to close out and leave before your retirement. Maybe the retirement is a nice big package, so you don't want to mess that up. But, look, man, if you get to a place where you can't take it anymore, you can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore. I don't like how these people treat me. A lot of times, even though they treat you bad because you're close to retirement, some people hang in there. And so, like we said in one of the videos we made for you, we said, look, you can transition slow. You only have 2 more years to retirement to get your full package. You might want to hang in there and take the crap and ask God to help you to get through it every day, because a year goes by fast, very, very fast. Before you know it, it's 2 years, and you you do that thing that people do. If you can still do it, you run and you take your two you, you take your two ankles and you just hit them together. I'm out of here. All right. So transition slow if you're in corporate and you want to work on transitioning. And like I said, I'm always here if you want to ask questions. I'm here for you. And so, I don't know what kind of week you had. I'm hoping that your business brought in a lot of money this week. I hope you brought in a lot of money. Start thinking of what you're going to do, what products you can start packaging for Christmas, for Thanksgiving, for, different holidays that are coming around, depending on your religion and what's not. Most times we sell really, really big at Christmas time and Thanksgiving. You want to make use of every opportunity. Like I said in one of the videos, you bundle things that might have been sitting on the shelf and it's not going anywhere. Um, and you start thinking, how am I going to package this? What am I going to do? You start thinking with excitement because we always open up our purse more. All of us, you, me, everybody, we open up our purse more at Easter time, Thanksgiving time, and and Christmas time. And because people are already looking for Christmas gifts, you want to be able to have some marketing going out there that gets you in their faces early, not at the last minute. Another thing you might want to also do is to start preparing like your Christmas. You might want to prepare some of your Christmas cards and that kind of thing. It takes a lot, if you are just doing it on a husband and wife team doing it, and you don't have any staff yet. You know that you have to give yourself time so that you don't burn out to get those Christmas cards and what's not together. That is another way that you let them know that they're precious to you. And I know you can send something in the email, but to me, like, that is impersonal. There are places that you can go wherever you're living, and you just buy some Christmas cards. They're not always expensive. And you sit and you do personalized notes and what's not, and send them something nice. All right. So, like I said, I don't know how the week went. I hope it went well. And whichever way it went, as you notice, we always survive. We always survive. And here it is. We are at the end of the week now. Let us go forward into the weekend with joy and happiness. For those of you stinkers who did not carry your full weight, I can understand. Sometimes they run us too hard. But if you're working for government or cooperate. But if you're in your business, I know you would have pushed as hard as you could. And I would hate to hear that you didn't push because you were too down and too depressed because things are slow and what am I going to do? Woe is me. You have a line. If things get bad and you have no one to talk to, you have a line. You send me a message. I'll get the message and I'll get it back. I'll get back to you. All right. So I hope that we survived this week. Our revenue was good. It was great. And we're looking forward now to going into the weekend. As business owners, sometimes we have to take, instead of 2 days off, we have to take one day off because Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those are the big days. These are choices that you have to make. But whichever way it goes, whatever you're doing, I hope you remember that it's Friday and it's time for you to kick off your shoes, walk into your house, get your bag into the closet or wherever you put it, and just relax. Relax and have a wonderful, wonderful, weekend. Spend time with your husband, sleep in late tomorrow, have fun with your kids, the dog, the cat, whatever you do. Life is precious. So enjoy it and try to not exhaust yourself that when Monday morning comes, you're begrudging the fact that you have to get up and go and do it again. Just relax, have fun this weekend, and know come Monday morning, you say, God, I thank you that I have my little business. I thank you for how you're growing it. I thank you for what we did in revenue last week. And I'm trusting you for decent revenue this week. Give me the courage and the strength to go out and put my best foot forward. Problems were there, but I'm going to put that behind me. I know I give it to you, and I'm trusting you that you would give me a solution. I'm not going to allow myself to go there. Don't dwell on it. Just leave it there. I worked with a doctor who loved me and I loved her. Her name was Dr. M. And even to this day, that I'm no longer with them at the hospital, I always remember her, that it has become a thing in my family. Because Dr. M would always say, people would give her different solutions. She was the one who was in charge of the food and what's not. And she would always say to me, or anybody who give her a suggestion, she would say, she listened. And then she would say, okay, we'll see. And I have incorporated that into my style, into how I do things. She never made a decision on the spot unless it was absolutely pressing and could cause danger or damage to the patients. Other than that, she would calmly say, okay, we'll see. So, you know what? Let's see what next week has to offer us. But let us stay in the moment. The moment is we're off tomorrow. We come in, we kick off our shoes, we get our clothes off, and we just thinking of having a wonderful evening, whether it be going to dinner tonight or whatever, binging on shows, eating some popcorn, whatever it is, have fun with it because life is precious and tomorrow is not promised to any of us. So we have to live in the moment and really give it our all. I love you all. Thank you for being with me this week. Thank you for coming to my videos. I see you. Thank you for watching. And I want you to start making comments and reaching me that way. I would appreciate it. Let's put some life. Sorry, I hit my mic. Let's put some life into the program, and let's start talking. And even if you don't want to talk now, for me, I kind of sit back, I watch, and I leave. I sit back, I watch, and I leave, because then with time I get to see the YouTuber's personality, and I say, right away, whether you like the person or not, but we're not trusting people. Too much has gone down in this world of, don't let me go there. That's a topic for another day. But you step back and you watch, and I understand. Watch me, and you study, and you see when you're comfortable, and I know we'll have very good relationships. All right, guys. So have a wonderful evening. I want to tell you, my husband asked me to announce that we are live, right? We are live every day from Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you see that we do not get on sharp 8 p.m., just wait. Don't go away. Don't go somewhere else to another channel or what's not. If you've if you've cut out that little spot for me, hold for me, because sometimes, like yesterday, we got on and something went wrong. We weren't getting any reception at all from the other side. My husband had to cut it off and come back. So most times when that happens, I am gonna explain to you when I come back in. But we do try our best, and we are hoping that we get better and better. I just ask you to pray for us. It's a lot to do a logistics business and then come in and start this business too. But we trust God that it's what it has always been for me. I always have the energy and the strength, and I ask you for energy and strength, that you remember me in your prayers, and I will remember you guys in mine. All right. Have a pleasant weekend and a great evening, and I look forward to seeing you again on Monday. All right. Take some time for yourself. God bless. Good night.